Hello YouTube, my name is Julian and today I'll be bringing you my ultimate green dragon bot killing guide. Bots are swiftly taking over the Runescape economy and it's our job to profit off their misfortune. In this guide I'll be covering the cautions you need to be taking, different bot killing locations, my magic method of killing bots, my melee method of killing bots, and the pros and cons of each method. Feel free to click on any of the sections to skip right to it. So let's get started. There are several cautions you need to have while bot killing. You will be skulled in level 10 to 20 wilderness, so there's a wide range of players that can attack you. Since you will be skulled, your items will be lost on death. Other player killers in the area see you as a prime target. They can and most likely will attack you. So here's a quick clip of some failed PKers. As I was trying to get clips for this guide, these PKers tried to come and tele block me. They splash, the one tries to cross me, I click my Falador telly and quickly escape. Next part of this guide will be how to get there. As you can see on the map, there's an X marking the West Green Dragons. I do not prefer this method since it's not multi-combat. You can use the red and blue lines as a guide to get you there from either Edgeville or the Grand Exchange. As you can see on this map, there's an X marking the East Green Dragons. I do not prefer this spot either since it's also not multi-combat. It's much larger than the east spot, and the most spots can be found here. You could use the red and blue lines as a guide to get there from either Edgeville or the Grand Exchange. The final spot is my personal favorite. It can be found in the Revenant Cave marked on the map, and yes, you guessed it, with an X. It's in multi-combat with many bots just asking to be killed. Once again, you could use the red and blue lines to get there from either Edgeville or the Grand Exchange. Here's a video clip I took of how to get to the Rev Caves. I strongly suggest using this spot to kill bots at. Now let's actually start killing some bots. We'll start with the magic method. The requirements to use this method are the completion of the Desert Treasure quest to gain access to the Ancient Magic spellbook, at least 70 magic for the Ice Burst spell, and you may also want access to a Beast of Burden to avoid constant banking. So now let's get down to the gear that you're going to need. This is probably the cheapest setup that I could have come up with. An anti-dragon shield is a must. It's not expensive at all, it's probably the most important piece of equipment you're going to need. Magic offense is probably the second most important thing that you're going to need. The higher magic offense, the harder you'll hit on the bots, and the faster you'll kill them. Mystic armor is not a bad idea since it has very high magic offense. Any magic boosting gloves and cape would also be recommended, as mystic boots are also not very expensive. A helmet Nezia is also good for its decent defense bonus. A ring of life would also be suggested for any close calls that you may encounter. This next setup is almost identical to the previous one, except instead of a water staff, you're going to use a staff of light. This staff requires 75 magic to wield. It is a special way of a chance to not use any runes for a cast, so it can be very useful. The final setup is the Polypore setup. It requires 80 magic, but no runes are necessary. It's identical to all the other setups armor-wise, but instead of a Staff of Light or a Water Staff, you have a Polypore Staff. You're sort of at a disadvantage since the Polypore cast doesn't hit multi-combat and you only hit one target at a time, but you're also at an advantage since you don't have to bring any runes. Now let's get to your inventory. You're going to want about 100 to 200 casts worth of Ice Bursts, which consist of 2 Death, 4 Chaos, and 4 Water Runes. You're also going to want an extra Beast of Burden Pouch. Any teleport tab would be recommended just for a quick escape. 1 to 2 prayer pots is also recommended, as well as 1 Saradomin Brew and 1 Super Restore for any close calls. 4 to 8 sharks or any other food would also be recommended, and 4 green dragon hides. If you're using Polypore, no runes are necessary, and you might also want a Beast of Burden. This could range from a bull ant to a pack yak. While killing bots, the active prayers that you're going to want are Protect Item and Augury. If you haven't spent the Dungeoneering tokens on Augury, go ahead and use Mystic Might. If you're killing bots and you have curses on, you're going to want to use Protect Item, Berserker, and Leech Magic. Leech Magic is optional, but it would probably help out since there are no magic boosting curses. Now this is how it's done. First, you're going to want to drop your green dragon hides. This will cause the bots to pile in a 1x1 or 2x2 area since they all go to pick it up. Then all you have to do is auto cast away and enjoy those juicy XP drops. Once you've killed the bot, all you're going to want to do is loot the green dragon hides and bones, drop the green dragon hides, and repeat. The profit gain per hour I was able to achieve with the magic method was somewhere between 900k and 1.1 million GP per hour, which is insane considering you're just killing green dragon bots. These can always vary between levels, so this may not be the same for you. The next method I'll be going over is the melee method of killing green dragon bots. The minimum requirements you're going to want is at least 70 plus common in all combat stats, this meaning attack, strength, and defense. Access to a Beast of Burden is also a good idea. Again, this could range from a bull and to a pack yak. The higher level of the Beast of Burden, the less often you'll have to bank. Now let's get to the armor that you're going to wear. Again, an anti-dragon shield is a must. Without it, the green dragons will hit constant 300s and 400s on you. Dragon hide armor will also protect you from both the dragon fire, but also those pesky tele-blocking PKers. You will be aiming for the highest magic defense possible. The reason for this is that you'll be protecting from melee so you won't have to worry about being hit by the bots. The goal is to wear the most welfare gear possible. By this I mean the most cheap and most effective. You can obviously go on with full turbo, but you'll be skulled, so stick with the basic cheap gear. Other than that, you could pretty much wear whatever you want. I tend to wear a skill cape, helmet of Neziot, amulet of glory, abyssal whip, and dragon boots. A ring of life is also highly suggested for any close calls. For your inventory, you're going to want 1 superset, 2 to 4 prayer potions, 1 Saradome and brew accompanied by 1 super restore, a spec weapon, 4 to 8 shark or any other food, a teleport tab, and an extra Beast of Burden pouch. You're going to want an empty Beast of Burden. For your spec whip, I'd suggest the DDS. The active prayers you are going to want is Protect Item and Piety. If you haven't completed the King's Ransom quest to gain access to Piety, you could use Ultimate Strength and Incredible Reflexes simultaneously. If you don't have prayers, the curses you're going to want are Protect Item, Berserker, and Turmoil. You may also use Soul Split to regain some hit points. This is how it's done. First, you're going to want to pot up and activate your quick prayers or curses. Then you're going to find a bot and unleash all your special attacks. Then you're just going to want to loot and repeat. Using the melee method, I was able to bring in between 900k and 1 million GP per hour. This is insane considering you're just killing bots. If you have even higher combat stats than me, you could probably bring in even more than this. Next we have the pros and cons of the magic method. The pros are that it's fast and AFK-able. The cons are that it's expensive and you're risking quite a bit in runes. Finally, we have the pros and cons of the melee method. The pros are that it's fast and cheap. The only con is that you're targeted by PKers. Thanks for watching my guide. I put a lot of effort into my guide, so feel free to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel for future videos.